G'day ladies and gents, and welcome to PAX Melbourne 2016. This was my first ever gaming expo and I had a fantastic time. It was only a shame that I didn't have longer, but I was only able to attend on the Saturday. While there, I had the opportunity to try out a number of upcoming games and take a look at Razer's new VR system. So today we're going to take a quick look at the games that caught my eye and at this system, so let's go. First up we have Kiru, developed by Pinefire Studios, an independent games developer located in Canberra. Kiru is a first-person multiplayer melee stealth game set in a world of literal black and white. Kiru's world is monochrome, and there are two teams of ninjas who occupy it. A black ninja in shadow or a white ninja in the light are completely invisible to their opponents, with the only colour being the red of the blood drawn in combat. Kiru caught my eye because it is one of the only games I have ever seen where the game's aesthetic is also the primary game mechanic. The action is fast-paced with an excellent flow. The ability to ambush and then vanish on an opponent and hide in plain sight really sold me on the feeling of being a ninja and opened up some interesting gameplay tactics. Kiru was recently greenlit by the Steam community and while not available now, should be available in the near future. Next up, Objects in Space. Developed by Flat Earth Games based out of Sydney, Objects in Space is a stealth space trading game set in a cluster of star systems dozens of light years away from Earth. You play the role of a trading ship's captain, buying and selling wares in order to keep your ship running, build your business and stay ahead of the pirates, organised criminals and corrupt governments and shady laws. Combat in Objects in Space is more like submarine combat than space dogfighting. You have control of your missions, allowing you to run silent with minimal detectability, planning maneuvers far ahead of time and managing your ship's resources such as power, all while trying to outplay your enemies. It struck me as being a game very similar to another game I've recently covered on my channel, Duskers. Victories earned not by out-twitching your enemy, but by outwitting them with what appeared to be a large amount of tactical depth. It's also worth noting that the game had the most amazing set of custom controllers made that really dragged you deeper into the gameplay. The developer has put the designs for these controllers on their website so anyone can make them. Currently Objects in Space is not available to the public, but it is on my shortlist of games to play and I cannot wait to get my hands on it.
That's not enough, Mosquito! We have to act fast before the Freedom Pals can! If there is someone in this town who knows someone who works at Netflix, then we have to find that person today!
But we were gonna start our franchise plan with movies. The Super Craig Netflix series comes later.
We can start with the Netflix series! You know that's what Freedom Pals are thinking. But who in this town could have a connection to Netflix? It could be anybody. That is what we must find out, FastPass. Mosquito, you run ABLs on all known Freedom Pals activity. Human Kite and FastPass, see what you can learn about their POIs. Super Craig, just, I don't know, browse the internet or something. Let's go, Coon Friends!
South Park, The Fractured But Whole. I bet you didn't expect to find this one on my list. While I've outgrown South Park the television series, mostly, I was a massive fan of 2014's surprise hit, The Stick of Truth. The Fractured Butthole is a direct sequel starting the day after the end of The Stick of Truth, with the kids taking up a new game that is effectively South Park's take on Marvel's Civil War event. Unfortunately, I was unable to record inside of the test booth, so I'm using stock footage here, but the demo was essentially a playable version of the same demo shown at E3 earlier this year, which looks to be the start of the game. Only the Speedster class was available during the demo, and unfortunately, there is no sign of the Dew class. If you have played The Stick of Truth, then you already know what to expect from this game. The animations and the world are identical match for the TV series. It really gives you the feeling of simply playing an episode of the show. Outside of the combat system, very little has changed. The combat system itself is slightly different. Your ability to move around and the positional requirements of some of your abilities took a couple of minutes to get used to. However, once I figured out the basics, they seem to flow nicely. The voice acting is of course perfect, as all the voices are performed by the same people as the show. If you like The Stick of Truth, you should probably check out The Fractured But Whole.
Coon, what happened?
Timmy got away?
He completely raped my mind. You okay? No, seriously, you guys. He fucked the shit out of my brains. I grabbed him. We fought for a little bit, but his mental powers are too strong.
So we did all that for nothing?
Not quite. I got Timmy's cell phone.
You are all certain, are you? First, we must put these Eldar to the sword.
Warhammer 40,000 Dawn of War 3. I'm quite the fan of the 40k universe, so upon seeing the latest installment of the Dawn of War franchise available at PAX, I simply had to play it. Unfortunately, again, no screen recording was allowed, so I'll have to run with some stock footage here. So, where to begin? First, to be clear, I enjoyed what I found in the Dawn of War 3 demo. It looked great, the animations were smooth, and the combat effects looked fantastic in person. The interface looked great, was simple to use, and it was immediately understandable, and it was great to see the buildings back. They've been redesigned a little, but are clearly based on the designs of the original Dawn of War game. However, this was the only demo of the day that really felt like I was playing a demo. The mission I was playing takes place partway through the campaign and involves the Space Marines engaging the Eldar in an attempt to shut down one of their webway gates. The mission takes place on a map that is extremely smooth and open, only being divided by deep bottomless trenches that break up the map's sections, and the Eldar shield gates that must be destroyed to allow progression towards the warp gate through the bottlenecks formed between these trenches. This meant that there was little in the way of natural cover, and as such I was unable to get a great look or feel for this installment's cover mechanics. The map itself, with its rapidly spawning and hoarding Eldar, also felt more like a meat grinder with limited tactical options. Regening your troops' health was mostly handled by a healing aura that could be activated at the buildings in your base and would restore all your troops to full health in a very short time. Now, I won't judge a game based on a single mission, but I did feel that the mission in question may have been a poor choice to use in a demo, as, well, for a strategy game, it showed relatively little strategy. It did, however, feature the new Imperial Knight class Titan, which I'm not going to lie is absolutely badass. Able to simply wipe out full squads of Eldar from the map. I couldn't help but smile at the absolute carnage I was able to bring every time I put this thing into a fight. Overall, I liked what I did see, but was disappointed in the demo itself. I feel as though it may have been picked because it was a meat grinder map and relatively simple, easy to get into, and easy to play in a very short period of time. But in the process, it managed to not demonstrate many of the strategy elements that I've loved from previous Dawn of War games, and things that I really wanted to see in this particular installment. On the upside, it most definitely left me wanting more, so keep an eye out on this one if you're a 40k fan. Last of all, just before close on Saturday, I had a chance to try out Razer's new Hackers Development Kit, or HDK2, an open source virtual reality headset. The HDK2 OS VR is designed for enthusiasts, developers, and general tech tinkerers alike, the kind of people that like to customize or modify their hardware. Spec for spec, it's a match for the Oculus Rift CV1, and in a couple of areas it's even improved. It comes with true colour 444 RGB screens and a special film placed on the screens along with specialised lenses that reduce the screen door effect, lowering distortion. Pixels are still visible, but overall the effect is much improved. Adding to that, the system is entirely modular, allowing users to open it up and swap out lenses, screens and straps and the like, while also being designed to support third-party developed hardware like advanced or room space tracking cameras and motion controllers. That said, the modular open source nature of the system does mean that some technical knowledge to install the software and set up the hardware is required. The biggest drawback for virtual reality systems at the moment, of course, is cost. The HDK2 addresses this as well, and it comes in at just under 650 Australian or $399 US. This is several $100s cheaper than the Oculus Rift CV1 and almost half the cost of the HTC Vive, while having equivalent performance. I'll be showing off the HDK2 on the channel extremely soon, as I've managed to secure a unit for testing and detailed review. I'm really excited about the open source nature and the cheaper cost, allowing more accessibility to users. Stay tuned to the channel if you want to see more. Anyways, ladies and gents, thank you very much for watching. Sorry I was unable to show more footage from PAX itself, but I had a minor issue with my primary camera, so I had to work with phones and tablets and other things that we had available at the time. Speaking of which, I want to send out a thank you to DeadMeat and Ash007 for all your help. It was fantastic to finally meet you guys in person, and I look forward to catching up with you again very, very soon. Until next time, ladies and gents, click like if you do, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll catch you all next time.